Hi, I'm Scott B. Davis. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour about where I make photographs, show you some of the cameras I use, and talk about the process as well. Join me. For the last 8 years, my work has consisted of one-of-a-kind platinum palladium prints comprised of unique paper negatives made in camera, which are generally paired with one or more positive prints made from traditional film negatives. I use large wooden view cameras ranging in size from 4 by 5 inches to 16 by 20 inches to make each of these works. The process of making my work can be broken down into 3 distinct production steps. The first step in my process, before I begin making photographs, involves work in the studio with traditional platinum palladium printing materials. These consist of light-sensitive ferric oxalate and a combination of platinum and palladium in liquid form, following formulas that date to the 1870s. Using cotton rag paper specifically designed for platinum printing, each sheet is carefully hand-coated, ensuring the paper receives a smooth, even finish of the platinum and palladium salts. It is hung up to dry for approximately 1 hour. Each sheet is then carefully trimmed to fit inside of the corresponding film holder. These are loaded in daylight, much as photographers have loaded film in complete darkness for the last 130 years. The paper inside each film holder will remain sensitized for approximately 1 to 5 days, depending on atmospheric conditions such as heat and humidity. The most enjoyable part of the process is time spent in the field, making photographs in unpeopled landscapes. I prefer photographing in the desert because of its remoteness and the stark landscape that I find filled with creative potential. The cameras I use are similar to those used since the dawn of photography and are suitable to a slow, patient way of working that I enjoy. Here is an 8 by 10 inch view camera. This is a somewhat larger 11 by 14 inch view camera that dates to the early part of the 20th century. It is the 16 by 20 inch view camera that many people associate with my work. I designed and hand-built all of the wood components on this camera in the year 2002, and have used it for a significant portion of my creative work since that time. Here, I'm working with a paper negative shot under the harsh light of midday, when most photographers wisely opt not to shoot at all. Because each exposure lasts for approximately 1 hour, I use the dark cloth to shield the film holder from the strong midday sun. One of the unique aspects of this work is the fact that each paper negative is sensitive only to ultraviolet light and captures an image of the world that is invisible to our eyes. Each negative exposure is measured using a UV light meter, though things like the cardinal direction and time of year have a significant effect on achieving a precise exposure. By the end of each day, when the light is superb and ripe for photography, I tend to relax and contemplate the day's work with friends before setting up for the night exposures that are often a component in each piece. It makes for a long but rewarding day of work. After a few days in the field, the drive home is a good opportunity for reflection on time well spent and imagining what will turn up in the darkroom. It is here where the real work of photography happens, and for me, it begins with the processing of each paper negative. These are handled one at a time due to the fragile nature of these unique prints. I process all of my platinum palladium prints and paper negatives in 120-degree potassium oxalate, a developer that is never thrown away and over time becomes dark with accumulated platinum and palladium salts. The prints are cleared in a series of warm clearing baths, removing all of the unused light-sensitive material. After a thorough wash, each paper negative is set to dry on a screen in the darkroom. The next step includes processing of the sheet film, which is done in complete darkness. This is probably the most economical part of the process, as many sheets of film can be handled simultaneously. The last part of the process comes with a traditional printing of each negative. This involves placing a negative in contact with sensitized paper, exposing it to intense ultraviolet light, and processing that print following the same methods used for the paper negatives. Once again, each print is processed in potassium oxalate, cleared, washed, and hung up to dry. I mount the finished prints on reverse beveled 8-ply lifts and place them into custom frames that echo the black and white tones of each paired image. From here, they go out into the world, beginning the process of finding a new home. Exhibitions typically include single and multi-panel works ranging in size from 4x5 to 16 by 20 inches. When an individual piece combines night photographs and paper negatives, these are fitted in frames that suggest the scale of each work as it originally appeared on the ground glass of the camera.